On the corner of Farmdale Avenue and Barack Obama Boulevard in the Crenshaw area of South LA, you'll find Susan Miller Dorsey High School, a wide-stretching campus built in 1937 that's surrounded by lush landscaping. Though, when you take a deeper look at the school's historical roots, you'll find this once predominantly black school at the crux of segregation in a white neighborhood. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the South LA Recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to learn more about LA and South LA on the regular. So let's jump into this deep dive of Susan Miller Dorsey High School. Who was Susan Miller Dorsey anyway? Dorsey was a trailblazer in education who had spent decades teaching and leading. She became the first woman to serve as superintendent of Los Angeles City Schools, now a part of LAUSD, back in 1920, and served in that role for nearly a decade. If you'd like to learn more about Susan Dorsey, I've left a link in the description box below. In 1936, the Los Angeles Board of Education announced a new series of school buildings to accommodate the growing school-age population across the city. And one of those schools included Dorsey High School. Before the neighborhood surrounding Dorsey High School developed, it was primarily private ranch land owned by Elias Lucky Baldwin, a wealthy landowner in the late 19th and early 20th century who held more than 40,000 acres of land across Los Angeles. Baldwin sold a portion of his ranch land to Walter G. McCarthy, a real estate developer who owned 1/4 of land in Beverly Hills. McCarthy subdivided 225 acres of his newly bought land and named the area Buckingham Square, where the school currently sits today. Along with the rising bricks of Dorsey High School, contractors built homes by the dozen, and McCarthy's real estate company advertised the Buckingham Square homes in proximity to the brand new Dorsey High School and the Rancho Cienega Park. In September of 1937, Susan Miller Dorsey High School opened for instruction and partnered with the Rancho Cienega Recreation Center to use its 6,000-seat stadium for high school sporting events. And in 1938, Dorsey graduated its first class of 52 high school students. As the neighborhood and school community developed, Dorsey High School became known for its sports program. Mascotted as the Dons, Dorsey High School became the home of championship-winning baseball and football teams as early as 1939. Academic opportunity was abundant at Dorsey High School. Within a matter of years, the school developed an acclaimed glee club, access to career training, extracurricular activities, a strong arts and music department, an award-winning science department, and a school-operated newspaper that sent several of its student-serving editors to the Los Angeles Times straight out of high school. But many of these opportunities weren't afforded to students of color, primarily black students in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. This didn't mean that students were prevented from attending or even graduating from Dorsey. The California Eagle, the enterprising publication that reported on Black Los Angeles, occasionally showed highlights of black students who attended Dorsey High School and went on to attend college from there. Despite these few and far between instances of success, the school and community found ways to reduce the black population attending Dorsey High School. In 1942, black residents protested against the Los Angeles Board of Education, claiming the school district manipulated boundary lines to enroll fewer black students. Even after Brown versus Board of Education, covert segregation continued to run rampant at Dorsey. On December 3, 1959, the California Eagle reported on both white and black students protesting against the Los Angeles Board of Education for not addressing segregation at their schools. In one documented incident, students were expelled after a racial slur quickly led to a physical altercation. Nearly a week after this event, both white and black students had an open discussion about the silent segregation at Dorsey High School. Then prominent KABC newscaster Lou Irwin reported on this conversation through a televised event where the student council at Dorsey openly discussed instances of segregation. Some students believed that segregation was voluntary. Others noted that during lunch, the black students would sit in enclaves far away from white students. And after this event, the Dorsey High School administration staff promised it would do a better job of desegregating students. In 1960, the Dorsey High School principal published an op-ed in the California Eagle asking for cooperation from both white and black parents. In 1961, the Visitation Committee of the California Association of Secondary School Administrators praised the school for its cosmopolitan nature, with the vast majority of students pleased with the racial composition. However, by this time, it was nearly too late to cooperate. With increased gang violence and threatened property values, white flight was gearing to change the racial makeup of this school and the neighborhood. By the 70s, photos of students attending Dorsey were predominantly of black students, and by the 80s, it was considered a predominantly black school. Today, the once predominantly white school is now nearly split. 53% of students identify as black, which is among the highest of all LAUSD schools, and 45% of student population is Latino. Dorsey has a 74% graduation rate, which is currently under the California average of 84%, and only half of those who do graduate leave with the coursework necessary to attend a UC or a CSU school. The school population is somewhere around 1,000 students today. Dorsey High School has a series of academic programs, including its sports medicine and law magnet, science, technology, and math magnet, and its firefighter and EMS magnet. It also has a strong selection of sports, offering basketball, football, volleyball, softball, and soccer. Notable alumni include television personality Judge Joe Brown, attorney Robert Kardashian, Freeway Rick Ross, and singer-songwriter Jody Watley, and many, many others. That wraps up this episode of the South LA Recap. I hope you learned something in this brief dive of Dorsey High School. This video cannot do justice to the school's complete history, which is closed away in school yearbooks and newspaper articles. If you learned something new today or have something to share about Dorsey High School, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys around on the recap.